In a nation searching for answers, every household has a story, and every story is shaped by the politics of our time. Your struggles, your hopes, your future. We bring you the voices of the people and the leaders who must respond. Because a stronger democracy starts with informed citizens. This is where Zambia comes together to talk, to question, and to push for better. Your voice, your power, your Zambia. The Political Square. Only on BMTV. Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.
Good evening, Zambia, and welcome to the program. This is the Political Square, and it's 3 days to go as Zambia decides. Tonight, we move beyond the campaign posters, the slogans, and the promises. As you, the electorate, decide this Thursday, we continue to probe the candidates who wish to stand in office for Zambians. My guest this evening is no stranger. He goes by the name Chisanga Chansa, popularly known as CQ, who is aspiring to represent the people of Kabwata constituency as Member of Parliament. Well, tonight I want to ask him very simple questions, but very important too. Does he understand the job he is asking the people of Kabwata to give him? Being an MP is not simply about building roads or sinking boreholes or distributing empowerment funds. Parliament has the constitutional responsibility to make laws, represent citizens, scrutinize public spending, and hold executives accountable. So tonight, CQ, we're going to test the promises against the powers of office. Welcome to the Political Square. Last time you were here at BMTV,
yes,
it was somewhat of a brief cameo.
Yes.
You know, we had a brief chat, and clearly it was shown that we needed more time. So today we're going the whole 10 yards. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well. Certainly excited. I mean, ready to exercise my civic right.
That's right.
And if you convince me well tonight, just maybe, because I come from Kabwata constituency,
Definitely.
I might just vote
I'm
for
certain
you.
that I'm going to convince you. You know.
Fantastic. All right, let's get straight into it. Before you tell me how you want to build Kabwata, tell us, what are the three most important constitutional responsibilities of a member of parliament? Just so we know that, well, you know what you're getting into.
It's the role of a parliamentarian.
Yes.
Number one is to represent the people.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be the voice of the people. You need to represent them for who they are.
Yeah.
Many are times that you vote in parliamentarians that when you vote for them, they represent themselves. So my job will be to listening to their cries and to represent them well. Number two is legislation.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, make sure that I fight and stand by the laws and the policies that we're going to implement in Parliament should be the interest of the people of Kabwata.
Okay.
Number three, oversight. I'll be entitled to follow up. Hold the government accountable. For the expenditures. I have that role. That is one of the roles of the MP as well.
Fantastic. And which of these do you believe Zambian MPs are failing right now? Or the MP that was sitting for Kabwata constituency is failing right now?
I believe that he has not represented Kabwata for who we are.
Okay.
Kabwata is, we are somehow complex people, but very simple.
Mm-hmm.
We are not a very difficult people. We are we have this artistic, touch to everything that we do. Because if you look at Kabwata from what it has been,
mm-hmm.
you agree with me that Kabwata has been a hub of entertainment.
Right.
If you have to go back in the days of the Pongozes, the boxing champion, Loti Mwales, they all came from Kabwata. So we have this, alignment with somehow entertainment somewhere there, you know what I mean? Things revolve around, entertainment. It's let me just put it, it's talent driven.
Okay.
It's a talent driven constituency. So we haven't seen much of that. I believe that now the talent has died. We no longer see the Kabwata, or we no longer know Kabwata for the talent. We know Kabwata for the problems, as opposed to the potential that it has.
So if you get to Parliament today, for you, the agenda is talent recognition?
We need to recognize our talents in everything that we do, because I believe that when you discover your talent whilst you're younger, you find that you thrive in life knowing what you're supposed to do. There's a lot of misplacement right now within the Kabwata constituency, because there isn't job creation within Kabwata constituency, and I believe that most people are misplaced. You find that someone has gone to college, they've studied accounts, but because there's no jobs in line with what they've studied, they'll get anything. So it's about survival now, so people jump on anything. You find that there are doctors in banks, and there are accountants in hospitals, like we are misplaced. You've done SEEPs, you've done business administration, but you find yourself in engineering and whatnot, all because of survival. So I want to align people for what they are and how they're supposed to, do things. Creating an environment that recognizes what you're supposed to do is the best, because you be an expert in a particular career that you're going to discover or follow. Basically, so that's basically what I want to bring back. People should be able to identify what they're supposed to do, and they're supposed to find jobs within their professionals.
Interesting. Viewers, you could join the conversation. Please do feel free to send your questions. The number is on the screen, 0573 955 330. That number is available on WhatsApp, and at some point, I will give you the opportunity to engage with us live in studio by calling. Now, CQ, you're running as independent.
Yes.
You won't have a political party behind you in Parliament telling you how to vote. So how will you ultimately be able to be accountable, rather, to the people of Kabwata, the Constitution, or your own political convictions being an independent?
I want to run the constituency with the people. I want to be in touch with the people, and I need to give accountability to the people. So I want to give monthly reports on whatever I do, so that we are in touch with the people, as opposed to just taking my own route and doing what I want to do. This time it's about doing it together. I want to be an MP that will be accessible. I want to be an MP that will work with the people, and whatever decisions we're going to make will have to be what we have decided, not what I have decided on their behalf.
Okay, I'd like to think, ultimately that is pretty much every other MP's ambition, right?
Exactly.
You'll be speaking for the people. But being an independent sounds so attractive in an election.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to place you in Parliament right now.
Yeah.
And the question is, will you be able to still negotiate, build alliances, and work with MPs from different political parties? I mean, how will you remain independent without becoming politically isolated? It's difficult. You agree?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think when you perceive something difficult from the start, even executing it becomes difficult. But if you embrace it as something that you can navigate easily, I believe that it becomes easy. You see, for a long time, we have been given this notion that you cannot run independently without political affiliation, or maybe without affiliation with ruling party, rather. I beg to disagree, because if indeed that were the case, then I feel like we never had even an MP existing in Kabwata. If you're telling me that the previous or the incumbent belonged to a political party and there's nothing that was done, it almost feels like the constituency was running itself with just a name, but without representation. Because I didn't even see him in parliament, even raising a motion or anything, or even speak out on anything. I think he was just in the background enjoying the allowances, which is not Kabwata.
Okay.
I think Kabwata people express themselves. When they're not happy, they'll express themselves. When there's something going on, they'll always speak out. We always want to be, to dominate. But this time we didn't have the right representation in parliament. And of course, so many things within the community didn't happen as opposed to the promises that were presented to us. So I don't believe that running a constituency, we always have to affiliate with the ruling party or I don't believe that's what we've been told, and that's what scares people to put the trust on independent candidates.
But you have to, at some point, have to cooperate with the government of the day.
Cooperation.
If you disagree with the government politically, how are you going to ensure that you run your motions and you have an ear, so to speak?
We need to exercise our democratic rights. If we're going to all belong or affiliate or always agree with whatever the government of the day is presenting, then we will all be, it's like we're almost gullible. We need to stand on the interests of the people. There are many times that the government of the day would present, bills, and they want those bills to be passed. But if they don't reflect where you're coming from and who you are representing, then there's no need for me, to be, on the same side. I believe I have to put my foot down and represent the people of Kabwata for who they really are. So it's democracy. We need to have democracy in parliament. We need to strike that balance where, people will still go with a no and others will go with yes, but we need to find, common ground somewhere. So it's just democracy. There's nothing personal whatsoever.
Okay, politicians often campaign on roads, schools, clinics, and of course, CDF, projects. But an MP doesn't personally control government finances. So tell Kabwata this evening, what is actually within your power as an MP and what is not? What is it that they should expect from you if elected?
Yes.
And what are some of the things that you have seen previously that people have expected that would not be within your power?
So what I've noticed about the running or the affairs of the MP is that people always want to depend more on, funds coming from the central government. But I believe when you're living in a community and you are pressed with, problems, you are able to lobby. It is easy to lobby within the community. So many other things, there's so many things that you are able to solve in a community without even extending your hands to central government and asking for CDF, when is the funding going to be allocated. You can easily do some of these things just by, lobbying within the community. I believe that there's so many things that need attention within Kabwata constituency, such that if we're always going to depend on, the CDF resources, we may end up having our 5 years elapse without making good progress. So it's about identifying the problems, finding lasting solutions, and finding ways to fixing those things. Do these things need central government funding, or we can raise funds within ourselves? There are people who are willing to donate money towards even just the roads. Kabwata has a lot of main roads that have been tarred by the previous governments, but the feeder roads are not, paved or tarred. So they want those roads to be, to be tarred or paved, but then they always look up to the MP. Is he going to do anything about it? But yet, when it's rainy season, you find that these roads are so, flooded, and there's mud around that area. And households within the constituency are willing to donate monies towards paving the roads. So you and me will agree that sometimes when when government wants to procure something, they inflict and they exaggerate the figures. Something that is supposed to cost you 100,000 kwacha will be raised to almost 500, 600,000 kwacha, because of course we have no control, on the other side on the procurement aspect of things. So you find that there are huge numbers that they'll tell you they used for such a small project. But people within Kabwata know and understand, just to do a paved road would cost them even 15,000 kwacha. They're willing to donate. I've spoken to the people on the ground.
Okay.
And these people are willing to say, what, to MP, nga kuli issue ife tungachita ukwafa, so at mwachita korodi, tualipila, tuasta contribute. And this is what I want to bring into Kabwata. And that's what is going to work, because people in Kabwata are not people, we're in a suburb. Remember that we're in a suburb. We're not in a compound or in a village.
Right.
Unlike other MPs, there's so many other problems that, they need to fix in their constituencies. But with Kabwata, we are in a suburb. There are many, how can I put it? There are things that they even understand to say, what, we need this. So we need to contribute towards a good, a good plan. I'll give you one other example regarding the same question, is the garbage collection within the community.
Right.
The garbage collection has been the biggest constraint if you understand Kabwata very well. The flats, they cannot dig those rubbish pits because they're on the flats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they have to depend on, companies that have been assigned to collect garbage on their behalf. But then they pay about 150, to about 120, between 120 and 150 per household for the collection of garbage. So I was doing my own statistics and just trying to understand the demographic around Kabwata constituency. I did simple mathematics. If each household is paying 150 kwacha for the garbage collection, if I times that by 10 houses, it's coming to about 1,500. Times 100, it gives me 15,000 kwacha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So times 1,000. So where I believe that with the household within Kabwata constituency, we are able to donate the same money that is supposed to be for a month collection to procure our own garbage trucks.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I look at how many houses are within the Kabwata constituency, and if each household had to contribute for their collection, not that they're contributing towards the procurement of the truck, no, but towards, the collection, we are able to raise money to buy our own trucks, garbage trucks. So going forward, or maybe after we procure, you find that we're only going to be asking for even 50 kwacha for the collection of garbage. That way, we would have curbed the garbage problem, in the sense that, when houses don't pay, or a household doesn't pay,
Right.
their garbage won't be collected. But then where do you think they throw this garbage if they have not collected the garbage? This is where you find mundu panyumba pake kuseni akachero wasanga vetu na wapose fishara mu drainage. And throwing garbage in the night, you don't even know who threw that garbage. At the end of the day, you start cleaning up someone's mess. And it's a common trend in Kabwata. And it's been going on and on. But I believe that 150 is quite a lump sum, to most of the residents looking at the economy right now,
All right.
Yeah.
Residents out there, Zambians watching, if you do have a question for aspiring member of parliament for Kabwata constituency, please do get in touch with us. 0573 955 330. That's a number you can call us on, or you can send us a WhatsApp message on the very number, 0573 955 330. I'm chatting with Chisanga Chansa, popularly known as CQ, who is aspiring for office in the elections, the general elections that are actually 3 days away. All right, so if you have a question for him, please do feel free to engage. Otherwise, let's forget the constituency office for a moment here,
Yes.
CQ. What is the first serious national issue you would take into Parliament through question or motion or debate or legislation if you are elected that you feel has been neglected?
What would come again? So let's say that again.
What's the first serious national issue that you feel hasn't been addressed that you would take to Parliament through a question or a motion, debate or legislation if you were elected?
I think it to be the issue to do with youth unemployment. Yes. I know that there's been a lot of discussions around that, but we have not found the lasting solutions. We are not creating enough jobs. You know, if you look at the number of people that are employed or are getting employment through the government as compared to the people that have remained without jobs, you find that the numbers are more than the ones that have been.
So specifically, what motion would you take regarding unemployment?
So I feel like we need to come up with initiatives that will create jobs. Yeah, we need to bring new ideas to the platform so that we can ride on the new ideas just to help our youths away from illicit activities. I believe that there are new ideas that we can come up with that would help the youths more especially to come out from a certain type of lifestyle and just create just keep them busy with something to do.
Okay.
Are you going to ask me what?
Yeah, I'm still on that. What specific motion would it be? I mean, I know it is unemployment that you're worried about.
Yes.
And the fact that youths are unemployed. But if you're taking a motion that you want to be amended into a law, it has to be a bit more specific, right?
Yeah, you're right. Well, let's look at, we're living in a global village right now. And I believe that whatever is happening around the world, we're able to get that real time. But then we are not able to catch up with everything that is happening around the world because we have remained behind in terms of infrastructure, number one. But here we're talking about creating a job. I would like to pose a motion around
a specific job.
Yeah,
what would it be?
So I feel like monetizing our social media would be a game changer.
Okay.
If we had to monetize our social medias, I believe that it would be a game changer for most of the youths. Because, if you look at social media now, there's a lot of youths creating those content that keeps us busy on their pages. But guess what? None of these people are getting paid. So if we had to monetize, I believe that most youths could be empowered and we could motivate even more youths to come on board to make, solid, content that will generate money. So I feel like we need to really implement the law around monetizing our social medias. Because at the end of the day, the monies are not coming from the government coffers. They're coming from YouTube, TikTok, whatever. So we just need to put things in place so that we are legible and we are monetized. We make our social media monetized.
Okay. CQ, you become member of parliament come Thursday. How will Kabwata know that you're actually doing your parliamentary job? Because you see, it's so many times we've heard from residents that, you sell the dream once you're on the ground, and once you're on the other side, you totally forget about the constituency you're coming from. So how will Kabwata be able to know that we still have CQ or CQ still has us in his mind and he's delivering for us.
So remember that I'm not coming in as a career politician. I'm coming in as a musician who has built his name. A good name is better than riches. I've built my good name over the years with the music. So why would I want to risk tarnishing my name that I've created all because of getting into politics? I don't believe that I would love to destroy what I already built, which is good. I want to be a person that will be easily accessible because I'm not a career politician. I believe that politics, after having this experience and encounter with the community, I came to realize that most people are in politics for business. Politics is not what it looks like from outside. Politics is a business. So I've always given this example to say, a politician will come in, like I've come, okay? I'll stand, on an independent ticket. But then what? Guess what? I will go and borrow money from those business partners. I'll call them business partners. They're in the background, they're pushing the agenda. So they'll lend me even the 5 million kwacha. That 5 million kwacha will be money that I'll put in my campaign so that I'm able to manipulate the people. I buy the people. How are these people bought? When you see all these politicians who come to flash money, just know that their agenda is a business entity.
So you haven't bought anybody?
Look, bro, I'm coming in as, my campaign has been, I would say God has been on my side because the grace has made me reach this far. And I've been moving, I've been campaigning, but of course, not as effective as those that come to flash money. I'll tell you that whatever is being seen on the ground, is an illusion. Okay, they create an illusion.
Okay.
To create an impression as though they are the ones that are loved. So I'm able to buy people to support me. I'm able to ferry people from other neighborhoods. I can go to Kanyama, ferry people on the bus. 10 buses, ferry them to Kabwata, put them in my t-shirts, and then make a rally. And before you know it, there's a lot of all these noises being made. All that is an illusion. It's not the reality of what's on the ground. But if you go down on the ground to find out who these people are, you find that they're not even from the neighborhood. So within campaign time, people create strategies just to create hype for themselves. But the people that create the biggest hype are the people with the money. They are going to buy people. Every time they're moving, they've got tons and tons of people. They've got followers. At the end of the day, all those followers have to get paid. That's the realistic part of what these campaigns are about. So people have been manipulated over and over. They're being used over and over, and they don't seem to understand the pattern. This is why you and me have found ourselves in this situation, because our elders then, who had the power to vote, our parents who had the power to vote, were swayed, away with the same pattern. An honorable only comes to rescue. He looks like a hero. Okay? I'll send my foot soldiers, find out what the people on the ground want. They'll tell me, these people are hungry, these people need this. They'll go and tell the people, say, what? When an honorable comes, present your problems. He's a good man. He's going to sort out your problems. And when I come there, they say, honorable, we have got issues of this. Oh, is it? No problem. I can sort that. And I'll start removing money right there. Guess what? What will happen? You will definitely feel like I have a good heart and I'm able to sort out the problems. If you look deep down into what these patterns have been, people plan these positions 2-3 years. They start doing community works. And look, let's be honest. People come in a constituency and they say, okay, I want to help you drill a borehole. And then you say, this borehole was donated by so. They help with an agenda.
Right.
What does the Bible say? When you give with your right hand, don't let them.
Should have known.
But in politics, it looks like everything you give needs to be seen. So if anyone is giving you something, you need to put your name there. Why can't you just help people without putting your name if your intentions are real and correct? So if I'm going to drill a bore, I want everyone to know I'm the one who drilled this borehole, so people should know that I'm the one. Then your giving is not genuine. If you're going to hunt to help the community, drill that bore for the people, help the people, but don't put your name. Just be silent. So people do all these funny strategies, which makes people, get manipulated. And at the end of the day, once I achieve my dream, guess what will happen? I need to pay back the money that I borrowed from my business partners. Those are the first people I need to attend to. And after I pay those business partners, I need to pay myself. And in the process of paying myself, my windows will be closed in that big, big car that you call crew, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then,
Okay.
yeah, so it's a pattern. It goes on and on. It's just like that. Why is it that people do good things around election time?
Yeah.
Why should it take 5 years for someone to do something good? And if you claim to have money, I believe that you're supposed to extend your hands, to a lot of projects within the community without even mentioning.
Interesting. Siki, how will you publicly account for your parliamentary attendance if you're voted into parliament? You did say earlier on that most people will get there and disappear, not ask the questions, no motions put forward. For you, what's the strategy?
I'll have to encourage the people of the constituency to even watch Parliament TV. It's not a common thing.
Yeah.
We don't watch Parliament TV. It's not common here in Zambia. This is why we miss out on so many things that are happening in Parliament. You're not going to see your MP doing anything because you do not pay attention. But then I don't blame the people in our constituencies because they've not been enlightened to know how to account for what their MP is doing. But if you watch what your MP is doing, how is he representing you in Parliament? The only way you can know and see is through watching them. Every time parliamentarians are in Parliament, they're live. But we have not made that a culture to watch these people in Parliament. We even ask questions where we even have answers. We know the answers are on Parliament TV, but we'll be asking, Honorable, so then you know that, these people are not watching anything. So they end up now, you understand? So I think we need to bring awareness. One of the other things I said, even in my previous interview, I said, you see, we are not lacking leaders in Zambia. There's so many brilliant leaders, young and old, but I feel most of us lack exposure.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that running a constituency needs a lot of exposure. You need to advance. You need to be 2-3 steps ahead of the people. So even as you suggest certain things, you need to be advanced. This is why there's no progress within the community, because you always look at roads, drainages, street lighting and whatnot. When you're exposed and you've traveled, you find that our friends are not at that level anymore, because those things, they have been established, and there's already a framework of how things work. So they're not talking about roads, they're not talking about drainages, not talking about sanitation. They're advanced. They're now talking about wanting to have 4 meals in a day, for example. You know what I mean? They are advanced. So if you've never traveled, you will never understand that these things are supposed to be like that. As a member of parliament, my role is to do those things. My role is to make sure that people are living in good, they're moving on good roads, and the drainages are well, maintained, sanitation and all. It is my job. I don't need you to, applaud me for doing my job, which is the case right now. When an MP makes just 2 roads or 3 roads, as I've seen in Kamwala, the incumbent made 3 roads. And he made a terrible mistake, because the rumors on the ground are that he went and made a road where he used to stay and in the mother-in-law's road. So you know what I mean? So it's politics. I'm saying this openly because it's in public domain.
Yeah.
You understand? Not that I'm trying to campaign. I'm not a person that likes to attack, people, but I believe in issue-based politics. So
Right.
when I look at that, I say, no, I think we can do better. We can do better. And even just, 5 years, and you have maybe 3 roads in a ward. I think I find that very retrogressive.
All right. Parliament scrutinizes government expenditure and public resources as well. So if you discover financial mismanagement as you're in Parliament involving people within Parliament from other constituencies, so to speak, how do you separate yourself and, question some of these mismanagements, especially from the fact that you are going in as an independent?
Being an independent does not make me an alien to,
Just makes it a little more difficult, right?
No, it doesn't. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, that everything should be in public domain. Whatever our parliamentarians are doing should be in public domain. But many a times people do wrong things, but they're not highlighted in the public. If everything is highlighted in the public domain, I think there could have been a lot of, people would have been more careful to handle things because they know they're going to be questioned. They need to be accountable over certain decisions they make. The reason why people do those things is because there's no one watching us. This is why people do. You understand? So I mentioned Parliament TV as one of the areas that we need to take interest, more especially the people of Kabwata. Once I'm voted into Parliament, they need to understand what I'm doing so that when I go back to my constituency, we are able to exchange notes. They're able to say, no, I think there you didn't represent us well. Maybe we need this and this and that. So we need to be in touch with each other more frequent. Okay. But as it is, you have people living in the constituency don't even know the MP's office, and yet they live within a certain neighborhood. There are people in Libala who don't know that the MP's office is within Libala. So whose problem is that? Yeah. So we need to let the people know, because the office of the MP is the office of the people. They are the ones that elect you into office. So why won't I want the people to know their office? The first thing I'll do is to show them where to find me. That is for accessibility. You need to find me. My office is in such a place. You need to come to the office if you have issues that are, that need to be, resolved urgently with the help of the MP. You need to know the office of the MP. But you find that many people just leave it because the MP doesn't visit them and they don't even know where to find him. The next thing is passing. They say, oh, he moves in a tinted car and nobody can stop him. We need to break these patterns. So I'm coming in with a different mindset because of the little exposure I have. In Europe, in America, you find that a senator lives in a very normal house, drives a normal car, interacts with people, but his position is what separates them from others. It's just a title of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But here, when you become an honorable, everything changes. You become a goat, so to say, where you need to be worshipped. And I feel like that's not how things should be. So I have good intentions for the community. I want to bring it up to speed so that they're able to connect with their MP and do things together. That's basically what I'm trying to bring, to the table as I...
All right, Siku, I know we've spoken about this, but I'm just thinking from the point of view of a youth out there in Kabwata who's thinking, yes, you've spoken about talent recognition and, bringing that up. But, repeatedly, young people in the neighborhoods are promised jobs. I think that's the biggest hope they get to have, right? What specific policy or legislative intervention would you pursue to address unemployment, aside from the talent recognition in a constituency like Kabwata, which is facing so many vices?
Yeah.
These youths tend to abuse drugs, they get frustrated. So to that one youth that's watching this program right now and is looking at their television to say, what specifically are you going to do for me? What word do you have for them?
So number one, Kabwata has skill centers that are existing, but they are white elephants. Why are they skill centers when there's nothing on the skill centers? So my one of the many other things that I need to do once I'm voted into power is to revamp the skill centers. I think that is the genesis of our biggest problems. Would have sorted out so many issues regarding unemployment, because number one, we need to equip them with a skill. Okay, once you equip a youth with a skill, you would have made them, self-reliant. Okay, there's programs that I'm supporting within the community, simple programs.
Tell us about this program.
Within my humble environment. I've been supporting an initiative of a free driving academy.
Okay.
There's a free driving academy in Livala ward, where we are encouraging youths to come and learn how to drive for free.
Okay.
We are trying to, empower them with a skill. We've noticed that there's nothing going on within the constituency. There are no recreation centers. All the recreation centers have either been leased to become gas stations, as the case for looters in Livala, where there used to be looters. There was a basketball court there. Now it's a filling station. But one will ask, who is benefiting from that type of initiative? You find that the business people have paid each other and they make the place look beautiful, but the benefit is not coming to the ordinary citizen within the constituency. So we're talking about skill empowerment. So if I'm able to empower a youth who they may probably have cars at their homes, maybe their father has a car, but he's too busy to teach his son, who is a teenager, who is a youth, to drive. So you find that but it's difficult. So an initiative like this one will empower someone to have a skill in driving. I believe that driving in this day and age should not be a skill. It should be a necessity, just like owning a phone. It's for communication's sake. If you go and disappear, we need to get in touch with you. It's not supposed to be a luxury to have a phone. It's a necessity. When we need you, we need to call you. You need to know how to drive. It's a necessity. But as things are, we are calling it a skill, because through that acquirement of that skill, you're able to look for a job as a driver. There's Yango these days. You can be a Yango driver. You can look for jobs, apply for jobs in the government, embassies, because you've acquired a license and you're eligible to drive. So small things like those would create employment, self-sustainability for the youths. So these are programs that I'm, watching closely, keenly, so that we can improve them and, make them big, and so that they can benefit more people within the community. So speaking of, skill centers, we have to revamp these skill centers. When we revamp these skill centers, we're going to bring programs that are current. These are, we're living in the 21st century. AI is a big thing now. If we're able to bring skill centers and bring, programs that have AI, you learn about how to deal with the AI, because the future is AI at the end of the day. So you need to understand these AI programs. We need to bring those entrepreneurship programs within the skill centers. I believe that most of these youths will be so interested to come and, gain a skill through the skill centers. And by that, we're going to create a lot of employment, and we're going to have people away from, those bars and, and just keep them busy. These youths don't have a problem. These youths just need to create programs for them within the community. So if you are talent-based, it would be good to even just put up a good studio within Kabwata constituency for the youths, those that love to sing. I'm a product of, I'm a product of the problems that are faced artistically. As an artist, I faced so much problems. I didn't have where to record from. You find that by the time I was trying to record those days, it was not common to have a studio within. I used to walk from all the way from Kabwata to Roma side because the studio was in Roma. You know, so you need everything closer. Okay. So we are talking about employment. There's so many programs that can be initiated within Kabwata constituency that could help just keep our youths away from certain programs. One of which again is the program that I initiated in 2015. Okay. The painting project. I am the brainchild of the painting of those Kabwata flats, as an ordinary, just, concerned citizen within Kabwata constituency. I'm blessed to have a lot of ideas around the community. So I came up with an idea to say, you know what, these flats are not looking good. Mm-hmm. They look dilapidated. We look like we're in a war zone. Yeah. I approached the community, the one of the flats, and they told me they had problems raising money or contributing monies to paint the outside because those flats were now individually owned and the landlords don't live within there. So they only send monies to the landlords. So when it comes to contributions, you find that every time they raise the issue of contributions, the landlord will say, I'm interested. Just give me my full amount. That issue of painting outside is your problem. So they'll only take care of the inside, but you find that the outside, the environment is not nice. So I came up with that program, which I believe that I created employment for 30 youths within Kabwata. Okay. I employed them to help me paint the buildings. So such small initiatives by just one individual would create 30 jobs for a youth. And I painted like 4, 5, 6 flats, I had that, capacity to employ, the youth. So it can be done. It shouldn't be looked at as something that can't work. There's so many initiatives, and I believe when you're working with the people and when you're in touch with the people, you also listen to their ideas. I believe there are youths with brilliant ideas that they present those ideas to a person who's exposed. I'm easily able to catch on what they're trying to say. I presented ideas to Lusaka City Council, brilliant ideas that have never been done anywhere in the world regarding branding and advertising. I present an idea, but because I'm talking to someone who is not exposed, they shoot down the idea because they think it can't work. But it's an idea that can benefit the council in areas where they didn't make revenue. But I'm trying to give them ideas where they are even able to make revenue off my idea. They'll shoot it down. There's just bureaucracy around that, the protocols you need to, break before you get approved, the people that you need to pay for something to work, we need to break those patterns. These protocols are what brings development, retrogressiveness with regards to development. So I understand where we are and I understand where I want to take Kabwata. So I'm leveraging more on the exposure. Okay. And I believe that if I'm given that mandate, I will showcase and I will show them how an MP is supposed to run a constituency.
Okay, so we assume in a couple of days, yes, you are in office. 5 years later, residents say, CQ, you made promises you didn't deliver. What should Kabwata hold you accountable for? And also, again, measurable commitments in short time that you're prepared to be judged for.
I don't see myself getting to that level where I don't do anything. I'm 100%, or if I'm to be sure, I'm 150% that there's a lot of progress that will be implemented within the community, such that even as the 5 years comes, I will not have to campaign because I would have already campaigned with the many projects that I will implement within Kabwata. and the ideas and just the lasting solutions to so many things. You see, I'm riding more on strengthening, execution. Promises are easily made. Making promises that sound good are easily made, but waking and executing those things is another. I've given you an example already. I'm a doer. If you're not convinced that coming up with an initiative to paint the Kabwata flats is not action, then I don't know what else I can do, because I believe that this is a game of showing us what you're able to do first so that they can get convinced. But there are people that believe they can do things without even ever attempting to do anything. But you need to give them a chance. If someone feels I can do it, for me to stand up and say, I want to be member of parliament, someone is looking at me, as young as you are, you want to be a member of parliament? Because tradition is that member of parliaments are supposed to be a certain age, are supposed to look a certain way, they're supposed to acquire some kind of wealth, so that we need to break those patterns. I think let's start afresh. Let's start young and give a little bit give a room to make a little bit of those mistakes, so that as we grow, we are big on doing the right thing. There's so much to be said.
All right, Sigi, as we get to wrap up, Zambia has had politicians who were excellent campaigners, brilliant public orators, and will sell the dream. Why should Kabwata elect you as a legislator, not simply as a fundraiser, a community activist, a businessman, or let alone what people are known you for, a brilliant musician, but as someone capable of representing them, making laws and holding government accountable? Give Kabwata one reason to trust you, and one reason they should be able to hold you accountable.
For those that know me, obviously not everyone will know me.
Right.
But what I'm going to say here will need some kind of support to, around people that really know who I am and what I stand for. If you look at my career in music, I would stand up for injustice, where I see things ain't going the right direction. I would stand up against all odds, alone, fighting the battle alone. You understand? I remember fighting, piracy, and had, friction with many musicians because they didn't understand. Sometimes I would just rise up and say, I think Wufontin sana, to play, foreign music in these clubs. Because I use the word Ufontin, someone gets upset that I use the word Fontin, not understanding what I really mean. We need to be patriotic and protect our, heritage and our whatever we make here in Zambia. If we're going to have a porous industry where everything can be thrown into that industry, we will not get the best of what we make ourselves. So I once stood up and said, I think playing Zambian foreign music in the clubs and on radio, Wufontin, because now Wufontin, you know that I created enmity around DJs. They stopped playing my music because I said Wufontin. You understand? Maybe I should have used it in English. I should have said, I kind of feel like it's backwardness. Maybe it could have sat well, but because we're having this vernacular conversation, and I featured on Maktu's show where DJs, musicians were trying to iron out problems of the industry, and I stood and said, no, this is not the right way. We should take this path.
Right.
Boss, if you go to South Africa, you cannot penetrate their radio. You cannot even penetrate their clubs. They protect their industry. The best way we can protect what we have is not exposing our people to things that are advanced, but allow our people to embrace what we make and make improvements. That way we are going to grow. But there's a lot of artists right now, even as we speak, that are at an international level. But because we've given attention to just one side, or maybe a few artists that we feel are international. There's a difference between feeling international and being international. You understand? Everybody has that, they want to be bigger than the other. But there are people that are just supposed to be export material, and there are other people that are supposed to be local material. And the mistake people make in the music industry that you are a local artist, you're doing fine, then you want to jump to become an international artist, you end up losing your people who understand you for being a local artist. There's nothing wrong with being a local artist. You can make the most from being a local artist because you're original. But every time you want to be an international artist, believe me, there's going to be things that will change about you. The music that you started with will be different from the music you're trying to, take. So it works out for others, and for others it doesn't work. But we need to align these people. So going back to your question.
Yes, with regards to Kabwata?
Yes, with regards, yes. So going back to your question, being the kind of person that stands out for the right things to be done, I will be able to stand against people for the wrongdoings and implementing laws that benefit our people. Half the time I've noticed that in Parliament, the government of the day will implement laws that benefit them for that period, forgetting that there will come a time when they will leave government. Mm-hmm. And those laws, whichever government comes, will find those laws which were beneficial to the previous governments. So I believe that it's about time we started making laws that will benefit us and the future. Mm-hmm. Our future, leaders and children and whatever it is. Some of the laws have been implemented because they were trying to get at somebody, personal vendetta. Because, temwani, akapundaka so that pangamane. Then I make a law around that, and everybody votes because they're in numbers, and then we vote around it, and then you know what? We've closed opportunities for you, forgetting that after us, there's other people that will come, and then they find these things. So there are many legislations that need to be aligned to the current situation.
Right.
If we look at the legislation and the policies that have been implemented, there are so many policies that need to be corrected because governments come to get at each other, forgetting about the people. But legislation should be about the people. So I'm standing in for the people. I want to represent the people of Kabwata. I want to enlighten, I want to open their minds. Therefore, kuba changes, therefore kuba sura menso. You understand? So that today in the Pamo, there's nobody who was born knowing. We all learn. So I want to learn from them, and they should also learn from me.
Siku, I'd like to thank you so much for stopping by the Political Square, and wish you all the best in your quest to make Kabwata constituency better. I think today we've had ample time for you to actually explain the agenda, and I hope that all the viewers out there are convinced much. I mean, 3 days is all it takes for you to know. All right.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. But otherwise, all the best. Thank you so much from the entire production team. This has been the Political Square with Temwani Nkata. Do join me again tomorrow at 19 hours as I continue to avail more opportunity and time to the candidates that are participating in this year's general elections. Thank you for watching. Good evening.
In a nation searching for answers, every household has a story, and every story is shaped by the politics of our time. Your struggles, your hopes, your future. We bring you the voices of the people and the leaders who must respond. Because a stronger democracy starts with informed citizens. This is where Zambia comes together to talk, to question, and to push for better. Your voice, your power, your Zambia. The Political Square. Only on BMTV. Zambia's light, Zambia's voice.